It's Scott from San Marcos Makes. Welcome to my channel. I am so very excited to share this dish with you. If you had to ask me, what is your favorite dish? There's no doubt my favorite dish would be fried chicken. And I don't care how that fried chicken is made, but it would be fried chicken. So I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about different styles of fried chicken. I've had Nashville hot, I've had the good home style, I've had Korean fried chicken. And they were talking about all these, but they brought up one I had never heard of, which is chicken 65. So I immediately had to go figure out what chicken 65 was. Found out it's a Indian street food, fried chicken with like curry spices. And I know that turns people off immediately, but I promise you this is A, easy, B, it's not gonna stink your kitchen up, and you can adjust the heat levels so it will be to your liking. My wife does not do heat very well, and she was able to eat this recipe. So please, you gotta make this. I cannot wait to eat it again. Made it a couple times, and every time I've made it, I am just blown away by how much flavor is in this fried chicken. I cannot wait to eat it again. And don't forget, make sure you look for that Beanie Baby somewhere in that video. If you've never watched one of my videos, I just started putting a Beanie Baby in every single one of my videos, long form videos. Inspiration from my daughter who collects them, has thousands of them. Somewhere in this video, there it is. Timestamp and bonus points if you know the name of that Beanie Baby. Last week, we had a winner. We'll put their name somewhere right around here. Well, the next one be you. Put it in the comments. So the first thing that we need to do is get chicken thighs, but it could definitely be chicken breast. I have about 1.5 pounds, but feel free to go up, down, but somewhere around the 1 to 2 pounds of chicken. Diced up, not diced, but about 1-inch cubes, maybe a little bigger, a little smaller. Then we want to get some Greek plain yogurt, not sweetened, not vanilla, but just some plain. Harder than you think just to find plain, non-sweetened yogurt. But look for Greek yogurt, and we want to just kind of put this whole container in. Next, we're going to put in all of our spices for our marinade. Now, all of these, I've tried to make it as super simple as possible. You could definitely play with the levels if you want it a little hotter, but I'm just went straight teaspoon on every single one of these. So we have a teaspoon of turmeric, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of cayenne, teaspoon of garam masala, teaspoon of ground cumin, and a teaspoon of coriander. Definitely play with the amount of seasonings the best you like. You want it spicier, add a little more cayenne. Or the garam masala. Garam masala is that curry. So garam masala is harder to find in a grocery store, but just use curry powder. You're gonna get very similar results. Now we're gonna mix this up and put in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. So many times I mix things up with my hands. This one I don't always because of the turmeric. Turmeric is gonna dye your hands yellow, or put some gloves on, but it's just the marinade. So you can mix it around pretty good, pretty easy just with a spoon, and you do not have to worry about the color. But I just recommend you washing that spoon pretty quick because it could definitely dye it if it's a lighter color. All right, so that's good and mixed up. We want to just put it in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. So after our chicken has marinated, we want to put 1 full juice of a lemon in here. I add this after it marinates because I don't want the chicken to become too soft. Mix that in. Then we're gonna add 3 tablespoons each of regular flour and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Want to get this mixed up as good as you can. This may be where you got to get your hands in there and get dirty. Good and mixed up. So you do want to get your fryer, whatever you're going to use to fry, get it up to, I would say probably around 360, 365. We're shooting for 350, but We know the meat is going to cool down the oil, so we want to be somewhere in there. You also do not want to put just a ton in there. Do small batches and have something for where they're to go. You don't have to worry about these staying super warm. This is just an ingredient, and then we'll be cooking everything in together. So we're gonna fry these for about 3 to 5 minutes, all depending on how big your pieces of chicken are. Definitely note color. So these are going, when I pull these out, they're gonna look done, but it's because of the color. So continue cooking for at least 3 to 5 minutes. Oh, it already looks so good. All right, so these are done. If you're worried, temp probe them. At least 165. We're gonna put this on a cooling rack. Get them all in there, and we're gonna go until all of the chicken is done. Once it comes out of the oil, sprinkle just a little bit of salt on it. Just let it hang out. In between batches, you gotta make sure to check your oil. When I first pulled these out, in between batches, it was in the 290s. So I'm letting it set for a few minutes to get back up. Heat your oil up. At some point, do all your other ingredients or prep for them. So I did a air fried shishito pepper. This could easily be any form of pepper. Shishito, if you've never had, definitely not as hot as a jalapeno, but not as mild as a bell pepper. So just a tad bit of heat, but definitely for the average person, they can handle this pretty easy. I have a video right here on my channel how to do these, but do these ahead. You will also prep a shallot, some ginger, and some garlic. I have 4 cloves of garlic. This is about 2 inches of ginger grated, but you could definitely chop it, and 1 whole shallot. Once you want to get that wok smoking hot, put about a tablespoon of oil. I'm gonna first add our shallot. Cook them just for a few seconds. Get them all split up. With it being this hot, they're gonna blister really quick. Bring out all that flavor. After 30 seconds, 45 seconds, we will add our ginger and we will add our garlic. Stir this around. This is only going to take about 30 seconds. Once you start to smell, especially that ginger, we're ready for our next step. We're going to add all of our chicken. Like that. I'm going to go ahead and toss now. If you don't have a wok, you can definitely do this in a skillet. It's just easier to combine. Last thing, we're gonna add our peppers. Not last thing, but almost the last thing. It's gonna get harder to toss as you get more items in it. Then we're gonna squeeze a whole lemon. More lemon on this. More lemon, build those flavors. One quick toss. Plate up. Once you are done, get it on a plate. For me, this is like a serving, but I guess it should feed a couple people. You get all of those, that shallot, that ginger, that garlic. I don't know about you, but I am so ready to eat. Oh, every time I get to eat this, I'm so happy. Oh, so good. Wow, truly one of my absolute favorite ways to cook fried chicken. I hope you try this chicken 65. If you do, tell me down in the comments that you tried it. Or, I've never had this in a restaurant. Is this accurate? If not, I'm gonna call it chicken 66. I don't know, because this is perfect. Can't imagine it getting any better. But if you've had it in a restaurant, is it close? or you've made it. Is my recipe accurate? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. But please always remember my rules. Beans do not go in chili. Okra does not go in gumbo, but it is perfectly fine to put pineapple on pizza. And did you find the Beanie Baby?